All right, I want to talk about a very exciting permit, a very exciting visa that we have in South Africa. This is a unique option that is not in many countries in Africa, and that makes South Africa very unique. Now, we know that all over the world, there are countries that are selling citizenship through different migration programs, like citizenship by migration, citizenship by investment, and so forth. Now, in South Africa, they don't necessarily have that option. But in South Africa, they actually have what is called a financial independent permit. Now, the financial independent permit is actually a pathway to get direct permanent residence to South Africa without necessarily going through the temporary residence permit options. Okay? So it means you and your family, you can directly apply for permanent residence. Now, let's talk about who qualifies for this financial independent permit. Who qualifies and how can you get it? Okay, now the process is this. South Africa is attracting high net worth clients or high net worth people to come into South Africa and of course invest in the country, spend their money in the country, or even start ventures in the country that can benefit them economically and as well as create jobs for their people. Now, the minimum benchmark that they want is that your net worth must be at least 12 million rands. Okay? So if your net worth is at least 12 million rands, which is between 650 or between 600 or let's just say between 650 and 700,000 US dollars, if your net worth, a net worth, this is a combination of all your assets that you own anywhere in the world. If we can prove that you are worth at least 12 million rands, then you have the option and the pathway to be eligible for the financial independent permit. Now, this financial independent permit, we have to include your assets. If you own land, if you own even shares, dividends, real property, and incorporeal property, all types of assets that you or intangible assets, all of them, we'll put them into a portfolio and have a balance sheet to really see how and how much are you worth. So the beautiful thing about this option, what makes South Africa a bit unique, is that you are not forced to bring this money into South Africa. Okay, they are not asking you to bring that money into South Africa. They are saying, are you worth this amount? Meaning, if you are worth that amount, then it's logical to mean that you will be able to do something substantial should they give you permanent residence. And then the beauty about it is that you are able to also add your dependents, your direct dependents, which is your spouse and your children. You are able to apply with them as well, should you wish to add them together as a family for this permit, and everyone will be eligible to apply. Now, the whole process, of course, it includes having all the chartered accountants and all those evaluations and stuff, which I don't want to get into the technicality of doing the application. But of course, after everything has been prepared and everything has been organized, then it can be submitted wherever you are, as long as there's a South African embassy or visa submission center. It can be submitted in that country. Now, when this visa has been approved, right? Let's say the Department of Home Affairs has now approved this the financial independent permit, then you are obliged to pay 120,000 rands to the Department of Home Affairs. Now, this is more like on approval, you're going to pay this amount. This is only paid by the main applicant. It's not per head. Okay, it's paid by the main applicant, and if you pay that amount, then you should be able to proceed and have your application finalized. If you are somebody who is worth at least 12 million rands and you want to identify how this option can be applicable to you, then you can book a consultation or put our details in the comment section and we can discuss your eligibility if this pathway works for you. Another beautiful thing about South Africa is that if you're a permanent resident, you must always come into South Africa at least every 3 years. You cannot stay more than 3 consecutive years outside the country, which is very fair and very flexible. So they are not going to force you to stay in the country. If you have global operations, you can still be traveling all over the world without disrupting or losing your permanent residence. And then, of course, if you want to eventually naturalize, then of course you now need to have been a permanent resident for 5 years and have been resident in the country the preceding 12 months before you start your naturalization process. That becomes a whole different, but I'm just putting it into perspective to those who really want to come to South Africa, set up operations and engage in economic activities. This will be the best option for you. If you need any help, then get in touch or leave our details in the comment section. Cheers.